So what's attached to this is resistance. Think about, there's three kinds of resistance, at least how I like to look at it. One is there's resistance to a future event, something that is going to happen, like going to work tomorrow, baby being born, getting married, right? An actual event, or an event that might happen, which all of a sudden might pull in fear or worry, right? It's a future-centric event or potential event. Then there's resistance that's based around something that is right now. So in my case, my wife's illness. And this can also bring in frustration, upset in the present moment and pull us out of the moment. So in other words, if we're in anxiety, if we're drowning in the anxiety, then we're out of what I call consciousness, or being in the moment, or being in awareness. That I get the chance right now, even though it's virtual, to speak with you about this and hopefully help you on your path so that you can experience being in the moment more often. And that this can become life lessons that help you and help people you know, right? Which is interesting because I was resisting doing this workshop for weeks because of fear. But we'll talk more about that in a second. The third type of resistance is resistance to something that's happened in the past. Maybe the way we acted towards someone, maybe something that happened, or that we didn't handle something in the best way. So all of a sudden we have regret, disappointment about this past event, right? So there's resistance can be anywhere. I'll tell you, resistance is really flexible. Okay, it can easily fit itself into any situation. And that's okay. Resistance is something we're going to feel as human beings. It's part of how we're made. But we can become aware of it when we're feeling resistance for whatever reason. And when we become aware of it, we can start to do something about it. So a couple quick stories. I mentioned a little bit earlier that I was resistant to doing this workshop. And I've got to tell you, talking about these topics is one of the top things I enjoy in my life. It's up there with my family, with working with my clients, with just the best things in my life. So it's kind of counterintuitive to think like, well, Joey, why wouldn't you want to do this workshop as often as possible? It's because I got anxious about it. I got afraid. And those negative thought patterns started. What if I'm not good enough? What if I stink? What if I don't help anybody? And so this resistance reared its head, right? And it's just, it can just come out of nowhere. But if we're in awareness, if we're in the moment, and we've got some of that distance, some of that separation from the resistance, from the emotion or the thought, we can look at it. And this is like the weirdest feeling sometimes, because we can look at it while we're feeling what we're feeling and say, I'm feeling that. And look at it objectively, almost like Mr. Spock would. And the first time I experienced this, I was like, wow, this is like surreal. It's a very interesting experience.